So people with erotomania often think that the object of their delusion is actually obsessed with them.
Aaron will do anything to get me into his life. He gave me the thumbs up. That was to tell me things were starting up, to kidnap me, and make it so I could never leave him.
In this series, we're going to present emails, voicemails, and personal experience that we hope will give you insight into the mind of our real-life stalker, who we call Kris.
41-year-old Margaret Ray arrested 7 times for trespassing on David Letterman's property.
John Hinckley Jr., and he changed the course of U.S. history in 1981 when he shot and wounded the president and 3 other people outside a Washington, D.C. hotel.
Stalking in Circles is the true story of wicked tinkers and our stalker Kris.
Erotomania is a stalking disorder that is technically a delusional disorder. It's characterized by the belief that someone is in love with them, despite all evidence proving otherwise.
De Clerambault's syndrome is a relatively rare condition, and the ratio between females to males is 3:1. The person who has this condition, I will refer to them as the patient for ease, has a delusional belief that somebody who's unattainable and of a higher social status, perhaps famous or a politician, somebody on the television or a member of the royal family, is infatuated and in love with them. This person I will call the object. The patient believes that the object was in love with them first and made the first move, and actually loves the patient more than they love the object. It's a delusion because even if evidence to the contrary is given to the patient, they firmly believe it. And actually, they will interpret evidence to the contrary as paradoxically confirming that the object is in love with them. The patient is usually a young single woman who is unemployed and socially isolated. The patient may never have had any contact at all with the object and believes that the object is sending her secret messages.
Famous cases of erotomania include John Hinckley Jr., as well as Margaret Ray. She is one of the better examples of these symptoms, as she was the stalker of David Letterman, who was completely convinced that he was in love with her.
Margaret Ray was found at David Letterman's property multiple times. She stole his car. She said that her son was actually David Letterman's child, which was not the case. Eventually, she stopped her stalking with David Letterman, but started it up with another well-known person, astronaut Story Musgrave. Eventually, she spent 3 years in prison prior to her death.
Erotomania is a serious disorder, and we are definitely not making light of it. We're hoping to use this series to help others understand it and get a better idea of what it actually entails, because there is quite a bit of confusion and unfortunately not a lot of information. And it's definitely fascinating how the mind of a person with erotomania works.
My name is Maggie. I have a bachelor's of psychology and a master's in human services. I'm also the manager agent for the band Wicked Tinkers.
And I'm Tiki King. I'm a member of the Wicked Tinkers. Basically, to tell a little bit of the story, we travel around quite a bit. We travel all over most of the western United States. We play shows basically like every other weekend. We meet a lot of people. We meet a lot of people. And one of these people turned out to be our stalker. I'll give you a little synopsis of how this all started. September of 2022, we were playing a gig in Kelso, Washington. Now, slightly before that, she had sent an email to our bagpiper, Aaron, asking about doing a dance contest. She described what was going to happen, that she wanted to do this dance contest in front of the band, and if she won, and I'll get into that in a moment, but he basically sent her a polite email declining and saying, we don't really do contests like that. We try to make it sort of open for all the audience to enjoy the show. So if you want to come to the show, that's great. You can, feel free to dance out in the audience, but thank you, but no thank you. We're not going to do a dance contest. Now, when it came time for the show, she ended up approaching me and CJ, who's the didgeridoo player and horn player, and one of the other drummers in the Wicked Tinkers, basically explaining how she was going to do this dance contest and that she had emailed Aaron and it was all worked out. This was a bit confusing to us because we had heard, he had mentioned, there's this person who had asked to do a dance contest, I told him no. So she came up and described this dance contest, and we were both sort of saying, well, no, I don't think we're doing anything like that. And she insisted that she'd already worked it out. Basically, her proposal was that she was going to come up on stage with us and dance for our entire set. And if she couldn't dance our entire set, she would buy us a beer. And if she could dance our entire set, that we were supposed to bow down and kiss her feet. We once again declined and said, no, we don't do anything like that, and we're not going to. If you want to dance in the audience, that's fine, but we're not going to do that. She also went into descriptions of her dance routines, which she claimed were extremely acrobatic, but that she couldn't quite do because she had a broken arm. But strangely, she was imitating the movements that she couldn't do with this broken arm, which we all thought was a bit odd. So anyway, but yes, we declined, and she said, well, Aaron said I could do it. And so we got Aaron and said, what's going on? And he said, oh yeah, she emailed, I told her no. And so we said, no, this is not going to happen. If you want to dance in the audience, that's great, but you're not coming up on stage with us. We're not doing a contest. And this was greatly upsetting to her. I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention to her because I was here performing, but from what I understand, she basically stood on the side of the stage sobbing and sort of, wailing at us. After the show, she did some sort of odd things. She would stand in line at the merchandise table, and when she got up to the front, she would sort of giggle and run away, and then get back in line. And so we all thought this was very odd. But to be honest, there's a lot of different types of people who show up at festivals, and we thought, okay, well, a little odd, but that's fine. Things didn't get really crazy until October of 2022, when we were playing up in McMinnville, Oregon, and Aaron told us, so do you remember the dance contest woman? And we're like, oh yeah. And he said, well, she sent me some emails that she wanted to do another dance contest, but also they were very, hadn't gotten quite as crazy as they would get, but we'll get into the emails concerning that on our next episode. Now, it was at this McMinnville event where things began to really become a problem. This is when, it was actually shortly after this that the emails started in earnest. But she had developed a delusion that Aaron was in love with her. And by August of 2023, we had to file a legal anti-harassment order, basically a restraining order. However, it's now 2 years on, going on 3 years.
It'll be 3 years.
It'll be going on 3 years. And she continues to send us sometimes multiple emails a day. We have easily over 150 emails from her. She emails various members of the band, over 50 voicemails. She's called Maggie, she's called Aaron, she's called Aaron's wife. But this disorder makes her think all sorts of odd things. Her emails just go wildly across the board of threatening, harassing, and maddening, but they're all clearly delusional. She'll flip from talking about how much she loves us and how sorry she is to how she's going to basically get us for not reciprocating.
Dates March 14th, 2024, from Kris. Aaron, I feel you're here. I keep thinking you were coming over to pick me up and spend some time together this afternoon. I took 2 luggage bags, a pink bag, and a pink lunch bag with a long handle on it. I put all my stuff down the driveway, then came back into the house to get something to eat. I went back down the driveway, and everything except for my rectangular gray cushion I planned I kneel on it to apologize to you. I have CJ, Tiki, Warren, and Keith, since they are your witnesses that know I hurt you so many years ago. I know you took it. I called the police and told the lady officer named Thunda that sounds very familiar to me. My version, the rant CD, will have lightning coming into the instruments. Yo, Jew, CJ, and Tiki play. I wish I never put my stuff down the driveway. I know you have it. I am so upset and he's crying a lot. I told the officer I was POQ to stay with a friend. I don't know who took my stuff since there are many thefts going around here. Hi, Niall, you have things. What do you want from me? I do not want any of your discreet crap, for I am me ye either. I have all of my stuff against Maggie, including her emails from her. I have all my medications in my luggage, my kilt. There are CDs in there too, wicked tinkers that bought me, and I did not ask him to buy them. I had no intention of getting any until you are manager again. I want my stuff back. What do you want from me, Aaron? If you send me any of your discreet messages, I will not anymore to with you. Want my stuff back? What do you want? Where is my stuff back? I can't find my keys. I had them. I didn't give any names to the officer since I didn't see who took it. I need my medication. Kris.
As you can see, it's some crazy stuff. In our next episode, we're going to start at the beginning, and we'll read the email that is truly weird and shocking. We were not prepared for it at all. There was a couple of emails that preceded this, like I said, but we, to be honest, we didn't worry about keeping them because we didn't think this was going to be anything. We thought, okay, someone emails about a dance contest, who cares? But I kind of wish we would have now, because it would only add to the whole showing the timeline. But they were, like I said, they hadn't gotten as far off the rails as they definitely would. These emails set off a chain of delusion that, like we said, is still going today, and nothing seems to make it stop. We have told her repeatedly to leave us alone. We have filed the anti-harassment, the anti-stalking order. All of us have called her and said, leave us alone. We do not want anything to do with you. But she insists that we do, and that we're all basically in love with her. Or that she needs to somehow save us, or that it's an amazing story, and I can guarantee that you will be shocked, entertained, aghast, frightened, maybe all the above. It's hard to say, but this will be the story of how it all unfolded.